Hey, Bud, what'd you think, man? Let me know some things about what can we expect from you?
Fireworks.
Fireworks. You ready, Bud?
That's the fight that everybody want to see.
Yeah.
I want to do it.
Do you respect him as like when he's like, I got a couple fights left, I'm at the end, I'm only trying to get mega fights, so
I understand it.
Terence "Bud" Crawford has answered Jaron Ennis' challenge for a super middleweight showdown for all his belts, officially accepting the fight. The decision surprised many fans, as Crawford had never seriously considered facing Ennis before, making this sudden agreement one of the most unexpected turns in boxing.
Like I said before, that's my obligation in the contract, and I gotta honor that. If that's the next move for me in my career.
While gearing up for his next bout, Jaron Ennis revealed in an interview that he's willing to move up to the super middleweight division if it means a title shot against Terence "Bud" Crawford, hinting at a possible clash in 2026. Ennis insisted the risk would be worth it, drawing a parallel to Crawford's own career when he moved from welterweight, took a single fight at 154 pounds, and then stepped into a higher division, proving that bold jumps in weight can enhance a legacy rather than hold it back.
Terence Crawford against Jaron Ennis, for me, he's the best fight in American boxing. But it needs to be a payday for Crawford that would get him interested, because Crawford knows how good Boots is. And I'm not saying that Crawford thinks he's going to lose to Boots, but he knows that is a real fight. But for me, Boots is the new Crawford.
Interestingly, just hours later, Terence "Bud" Crawford joined a victory parade in his hometown of Omaha. When asked about Jaron Ennis and his recent statements, Crawford made it clear he's open to the fight. He didn't mince words, telling Ennis that if he truly wants it, he should send the contract, as he's ready to fight at 168 pounds without hesitation. That position was later supported by Ennis's promoter, Hearn, who praised the matchup and called it the best fight in boxing right now, signaling that real momentum may finally be building behind this high-risk, high-reward showdown.
Without him, really wanting to fight and putting forth the effort into doing what he can do along with me to get this fight done, we wouldn't be fighting. So it's only right that I give him that same,
I want and I need. So after I do my thing, Saturday night and be victorious, I feel like it's only big name fights from here on out. Only main event headlines and pay-per-view pay-per-view fighting. So that's my goal.
Matchroom boxing head Hearn revealed that talks are underway for Terence "Bud" Crawford to face former unified welterweight champion Jaron "Boots" Ennis. Ennis is scheduled to make his 154-pound debut on October 11th against Wismal Lima. Hearn called Crawford versus Ennis the best fight in American boxing right now, noting that it would require a major payday to secure Crawford's interest. He emphasized that Crawford's caution isn't about fear of losing, but respect for the challenge, recognizing it as a high-level fight. Hearn even went so far as to say that Boots is the new Crawford, and now it's about choosing the right fights to prove just how great he truly is.
Fight that makes a whole lot of sense, and the fight that stylistically would be, oh my goodness, is a fight between Terence Crawford and Jaron "Boots" Ennis.
I think that's going backwards for Terence.
To that point, Jaron doesn't have the kind of accolades. He doesn't sell to the mass and all these. So this fight was perfect timing for both these guys.
During Terence "Bud" Crawford's post-fight press conference, when Jaron "Boots" Ennis was mentioned as a potential opponent, the 5-division champion made it clear he has no plans to return to the junior middleweight division. He stated that for the fight to happen, Ennis would need to meet him at a different weight. Hearn explained that the main hurdle is financial, as Crawford now operates on a level where only massive fights make sense. Hearn added that Crawford is a completely different animal, with an elite boxing IQ far beyond most fighters. To even compete with him requires experience, discipline, and deep technical skill, which is exactly why Hearn believes a matchup with Boots is both compelling and extremely dangerous.
A roller coaster, but we made it to the top. No matter how we made it, and it's definitely a test to say that anything is possible if you work hard at it and you believe in yourself and you have the faith.
Jaron Ennis was previously the IBF mandatory challenger at 147 pounds for Terence "Bud" Crawford before Crawford moved up to 154 last year and defeated Israel Madrimov to claim the WBA title. During that transition, Ennis was promoted by the sanctioning body from interim to full champion. He further solidified his status by stopping Imantas Stanionis in April, also earning recognition as the ring and WBA champion. While preparing for his next fight, Ennis even served as a high-level sparring partner for Canelo Alvarez as Alvarez got ready to face Crawford, reinforcing the widespread view in boxing that Ennis has been operating at an elite championship level for some time.
But don't lie or kept to the net and make it seem like I had the opportunity to fight you and I didn't. I never did. You know what I'm saying? And then that one time that I did, we said they called, and we said we never heard nothing else back about it. So
right.
I mean, I respect it though. I mean, get your money. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. But don't be capping on the net.
Even with elite level sparring in camp, it wasn't enough to prepare Canelo Alvarez for what unfolded in the ring. The Mexican star admitted after the loss that his body failed him that night, and many hailed it as a masterclass from Terence "Bud" Crawford. Eddie Hearn said he felt disappointed for Canelo but was genuinely thrilled that Crawford finally had the stage to showcase just how great he is. He added that while Crawford has collected impressive victories throughout his career, there were still many elite names from his era he could have faced, and delivering such a statement performance at 38 years old makes the achievement even more extraordinary.
The Crawford-Canelo fight. Were you surprised by the outcome?
It's boxing, they happen.
No doubt. My other question for you is, with this win, everybody said Crawford elevated his status. He's the GOAT. Do you think this win puts him on Mount Rushmore or makes him a GOAT in boxing?
Everybody got their own opinion.
People often write fighters off too early, and while some see that as a natural exit, Terence "Bud" Crawford could still drop to 160 pounds and chase another world title, potentially becoming a 6th division champion. Canelo Alvarez entered determined to win, but Crawford remained unshaken, delivering a composed performance that secured a clear, though hard-fought, victory in front of over 70,000 fans at Allegiant Stadium, with more than 41 million viewers tuning in live on Netflix.
South Philly. Yeah. All right, so they'll kill me if I don't ask you, right?
What?
Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford wins unanimous decision victory.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on the fight?
I was trying to stay up. It was getting too late, yo. It was like, I think by the time they came on, it was probably 1 o'clock or something like that.
It was like 1 and some change.
I trained.
Among the millions watching was Jaron Ennis, the 28-year-old from Philadelphia who has repeatedly challenged Terence "Bud" Crawford and is often viewed as a future Hall of Famer. Just weeks before Canelo Alvarez completed his training camp, Ennis was brought in as a switch-hitting sparring partner. This sparked criticism of Ennis for seemingly prioritizing Canelo over Crawford, and despite opinions from many boxing experts, here's what he had to say.
More days and y'all gonna see Canelo fighting Crawford, so I ain't got no comment on who gonna win the fight, you dig? If Crawford do what he's supposed to do, he got an option. If he don't beat Canelo. Simple as that.
When asked about his time in Canelo Alvarez's training camp, Jaron Ennis said it was only his second experience training outside Philadelphia, and he thoroughly enjoyed it. Just being in the ring with Canelo, who has 67 fights under his belt, was incredible. I loved the experience of sparring with him, moving up in weight, and just enjoying the time, fishing, bonding, and having fun with my brother, he explained. On whether he enjoyed the camp, he added, "Why wouldn't I? Sharing the ring with a Hall of Famer, a legend, and the face of boxing was amazing. The sparring was intense, and I loved every moment with Canelo."
A guy of that caliber?
Yeah, why not? Why not you be able to share the ring with, with Canelo and like I said, being there with a Hall of Famer, a legend, and the face of, kind of like the face of boxing, why not?
Speaking about how his sparring with Canelo Alvarez went viral and the fan reactions, Jaron Ennis said, "I already knew it was going to blow up. Once we posted the picture, I thought, this is going everywhere. You could say it makes the fight more intriguing. Everyone will want to tune in a bit more. I don't care about the backlash. I went out there for myself, especially during those first 2 weeks in camp at Elevation. This was for me, not for anyone else."
I think Crawford's going to get the job done. I am officially picking Crawford to win this fight. It is still 50-50, but obviously...
He says that till he goes to Canelo.
I'm obviously going to say that this is a 60-40 fight, and I have Crawford winning this fight. Crawford's going to win this fight doing something that nobody's done to Canelo.
Okay.
And this is going to help Canelo. He's sparring against a great fighter, world champion in Ennis, and like I said before, iron sharpens iron. And maybe it will. But on the other side, it was interesting to hear your side of how, whether it's the overtraining or I think more the mental side. What if Boots is getting the best of him? How does that affect Canelo going into this fight? Why would you want to even put that doubt in your fighter's head going into...
Legendary boxing analyst Teddy Atlas, however, warned that bringing in Jaron Ennis could backfire for Canelo Alvarez. Atlas argued that sparring with a fighter of Ennis's caliber might wear Alvarez down before his big fight on September 13th.
He's not me.
Yeah.
You know, as much as a lot of people, you know, say we have similarities and, you know, we switch a lot and we fight a lot. He's not me, you know, and I'm not him. So.
Yeah. Tim had said comparison that like he's like a Chrysler 300.
Preparations were in full swing on both sides, but Alvarez's camp grabbed extra attention because he was sparring with Jaron Ennis. Terence Crawford, however, wasn't entirely convinced that this was the right approach.
And now, I think Boots brought the best out of Canelo. I don't know how many rounds they may have sparred, if it's true, but if it is true, I'm assuming that Boots may have brought the best out of Canelo Alvarez in that sparring. Showed him different looks, the switch hitting. I'm pretty sure they probably wanted Boots to, you know, emulate Crawford or just to be who he is.
What's yours?
My opinion is I like who I like. You know, I like Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Bernard Whitaker. I'm liking Sugar Ray Leonard. I've been watching a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard. James Tony. So they my top like guys that I've been watching.
Teddy Atlas cautioned that he didn't want Alvarez to exhaust himself in the gym or get into a full-on battle there, especially against someone like Jaron Ennis. With Alvarez being older and having more mileage, sparring with Ennis could add unnecessary wear and tear. It will be interesting to see if Alvarez shows any signs of fatigue on fight night.
I think that I would want too many highly, put it this way, I'll get right to the point. I wouldn't want wars with my guy who's been in 65 fights or 60 whatever, and is at that, you know, 34 years old.
Never. This is crazy, Chester.
I just didn't want to see
Chester.
I didn't want to see
Chester. You got a Team Crawford shirt on, hoodie on, but you going against me? You going against me? What he say, Red?
I said don't get scared.
No. What he say?
He said you just want to see him lose.
Thank you.
Even with additional preparation, Canelo Alvarez had little answer as Terence Crawford controlled all 12 rounds fighting as a southpaw. Jaron Ennis, while still pursuing a future fight with Crawford, acknowledged the historic nature of Crawford's performance, calling it a great win for both him and the sport of boxing. Though he enjoyed watching, Ennis remains focused on his own path, having recently vacated his WBA and WBC welterweight titles and committing to reclaim his championship at 154 pounds.
I trained twice that day. I was like, I'm gonna just try to stay up and not. The fight before that was...
And Billy Martinez.
I was watching like 1 or 2 rounds of that. They was going at it. So I wound up falling asleep. I'm like, yo, I can't stay up no longer. I just wanted to fall asleep. But that was a great one for Crawford. Go.
Jaron Ennis will make his debut in the new weight class when he takes on Wissam Lima at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia on October 11th. With an opportunity to make a statement and potentially capture a secondary title, Ennis is fired up for fight night. "I'm feeling great. It's almost time. I'm ready to put on a show," he said, promising a dominant performance and a spectacular knockout.
Beautiful knockout.
And then on Thursday and Friday, when I saw Canelo in the vest, I was like, nah. I was like, no, he's gonna pull it off here. And you know, it was an amazing performance by Terence Crawford. Yeah, I'm gutted for Canelo, but I'm actually pleased that Crawford is getting the opportunity to show how great he is, because his resume hasn't really allowed that. Don't get me wrong, he's got...
On the eve of his 38th birthday, Terence "Bud" Crawford wasn't just celebrated, he was honored. A hometown parade drew an estimated 20,000 fans, flooding the streets in blue and gold with Crawford at the center. Riding atop a throne mounted on a semi-truck, he raised his hand to the roaring crowd. Amid the camera flashes and excitement, he sent a short but powerful tweet, showing that his roots, his city, and his accomplishments mean more than any single fight. While his victory over Canelo Alvarez in Las Vegas made global headlines, the homecoming celebration took the tribute to an entirely new level. Nebraskans lined the streets, families turned out by the thousands, and the atmosphere felt like a hero returning home to a coronation. Few fighters in boxing history reach undisputed champion status across multiple divisions, and Crawford stood proudly amid the celebration. Yet beneath the excitement, a sense of finality lingered. At 38, many wondered if the Canelo fight might have been his curtain call. In interviews, Crawford made it clear his focus has never been on paydays but on building a lasting legacy. Reflecting on times when critics doubted him, he said, "It's crazy because when I was with Top Rank, a lot of people were saying, he's broke, he's this and that. I was getting paid well, but I thought, I don't have to box. You all box because you want to. I box because I love it."
My moment following a once-in-a-lifetime fight.
42-0, waving to the crowd, pumping his fists like he does so well.
And a kid on his lap, I love it. Guys, I'm having a hard time hearing you, but it's hard to hear anything because it is loud. The city of Omaha is out. Bud Crawford making his way to the heartland of America Park. Bill,
what's yours? My opinion is I like who I like. You know, I like Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Bernard Whitaker. I'm liking Sugar Ray Leonard. I've been watching a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard. James Tony. They my top like guys that I've been watching.
Fair enough. Last question on the topic. Is that a fight, because you know people want to know, is that a fight that you still are interested in? Or you moved on? You moved on from wanting to fight Crawford. Is it still a fight that you have interest in?
My main focus right now is October 11th. That's all I'm worried about. October 11th. I ain't worried about no outsiders. You know, I'm locked in. That's how.
100 years from now, people will remember that kid from Omaha, Nebraska, Bud Crawford, he said with conviction. I moved up not 1, not 2, but 3 divisions and defeated Canelo Alvarez. My name will be remembered long after I'm gone. That's what legacy is all about. Crawford's words carried deep personal weight, and only time will tell if that promise holds. On this day, Omaha seemed already convinced. This was more than a victory parade. It was a celebration of identity, memory, and expectation, with the city itself playing a starring role. Meanwhile, Jaron "Boots" Ennis has struggled to make the 147-pound limit, prompting his move up to junior middleweight. I think the big question is whether Boots stays at 147, if I'm honest, Eddie Hearn told Boxing Scene.
I figured it being so close to the fight too as well. You know, you're kind of like tunnel vision when it comes to your opponent. And the only reason why I ask is because, you know, Turkey had mentioned that if Teo gets past Barboza, we could see a fight with you and Teofimo. I know Top Rank tried to make that fight as well. So I was just curious now, like, what do you think of Teofimo as a fighter?
He's a good fighter. You know, good fighter. That's about it.
The Stanionis' performance was strong. The medical stats weren't as solid, but it's complicated because I think Boots believes he'll perform much better at 154, Hearn explained. The reason he initially wanted to stay at 147 was to unify, and now he's done that. It's a tough call. We like the Teofimo Lopez fight, but if he stays at 147, he'll face Teofimo. If not, he moves up to 154. With Brian Norman fighting in July in Japan and Barrio taking on Pacquiao, the unifications aren't really available, so Boots is a bit of a one-off. He's not purely motivated by money, though of course that's a factor. He's focused on legacy and willing to push his body to make 147 for unification. The Teofimo fight is different, but it's a major one. We'll need to make a decision soon.
That's about it?
Yeah, he's a good fighter. That's about it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were going to add or anything like that.
No. I say he's a good fighter. That's about it.
Okay. You know, Brian Norman Jr. got a knockout win. I know you guys tried to make a fight previously. He had mentioned in a group huddle with us that he just didn't like being cornered in his opinion, when it came to that fight. Just, you know what.
Ennis hired a nutritionist to help him make weight more efficiently for his bout with Stanionis. On fight night, he looked massive, far bigger than Stanionis, and dominated the contest. However, Eddie Hearn revealed that making the weight remained a challenge. It probably wasn't as bad as the Karen Chukagian fight, but a lot of people noticed during the week how tight he looked at 147, Hearn said. It wasn't like he hit the scales perfectly for Stanionis, not at all. But repeatedly cutting down to 147 is a huge ask.
Fight, Jaron, just give us your perspective on that and him saying those comments.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't even know what you're talking about. I've been so locked in and zoned in on what I got going on. I ain't been worrying about nobody else doing nothing. Like, I just been going to the gym, training, locking in books and things like that, even coloring a little bit. I'm just so focused on what I got going on. I really ain't been on social media.
And it's not just about making weight. It's about making weight and performing at your absolute best, Hearn explained. Even in the Stanionis fight, he didn't feel like he showed the most powerful version of himself, which is impressive considering how dominant he already was. But at 154, you'll see someone with even more power, even though he's strong at 147. That's all for now. For the latest updates, highlights, events, and news from the boxing world, stay connected by subscribing to our YouTube channel and turning on notifications to catch all our premium content. Until next time, peace out.